Diablo 2 Resurrected is on the horizon. It's set to be released this September. For those of you who might not know about it, it's the very promising remastering of the legendary action RPG game Diablo 2. I'll include a link in the description to a video that goes over everything you need to know about it. Ever since the remaster was announced by Blizzard earlier this year, many people, both veterans of Diablo and newbies alike, have been making time for some Diablo 2 campaigns. I mean, Resurrected isn't really that far from release, but you can't help but understand everyone's eagerness because Diablo 2 is really just that good. Besides, the closer we get to something that we want, the more anxious and excited we get. So why not fill some spare time with what we already have? Does that make any sense? I don't know, but that's not really the point. The point is that some of the returning players may feel a bit rusty trying to kickstart their action on Diablo 2. Others might just not be familiar with some of the best features in the game. So, we took it upon ourselves to give you a few tips, from things that you need to do first in the game to other stuff that can make your campaigns all the more fun. And now, without further ado, I'm Luna with Jollycat Gaming, and I'm going to give you 10 important tips and tricks that can help you as you jump into the action in Diablo 2. So, let's start it off with number 10. Get yourself a belt as soon as you get the chance. You see, once you begin your Diablo 2 campaign, you'll need something that provides you with quicker access to items like potions and scrolls. Grabbing a belt will give you that privilege. There are up to 15 belts. The first one you'll be able to find will most definitely be a normal one that gives you 4 additional slots for your items. But some of the more advanced belts, especially the exceptional and elite belts, will provide you with up to 16 total slots for quick access. Number 9 is that you'll need to prioritize maximizing your vitality and resistances. Vitality is by far the most important attribute for all character classes in Diablo 2, with the exception of the Sorceress. I'm not saying that you should spend all of your attribute points on Vitality. The other attributes are also important. Dexterity may even be just as important if you'd like to focus on your block chance. But you should definitely make Vitality your first priority as it increases your life pool. Resistances are also just as important to focus on and upgrade. It might not seem so, since you don't really get any when you first start the game on normal difficulty, but they're basically what's going to keep your character alive when you move into Hell and Nightmare difficulties. Your character should have resistance to fire, cold, lightning, and poison. For instance, if you have about 75 lightning resistance, which is the maximum, all lightning damage your character gets will be reduced by 75%. Next up, for number 8, is that you may want to focus on one skill tree for every character. You see, every character in Diablo 2 has 3 different skill trees. For example, the Assassin has martial arts, shadow disciplines, and traps. You may get tempted into mixing things up between all 3 skill trees, but that's not really going to do you any good.
It's extremely bad.
Instead, you're going to want to focus your build on one skill tree. If you do that, you'll get yourself a decent character in the game that won't be struggling with bosses. This brings us to number 7, which is to assign hotkeys to your skills. Setting some buttons for quicker access to your skills is essential to smoother gameplay in Diablo 2. If you do this, you won't have to click, click, click every time you want to use one of your skills. You can do this by heading into Configure Controls in the Options menu, then customize up to 16 hotkeys for your skills. Number 6 is to get yourself sufficient amounts of potions early on in the game. You see, some potions like mana and stamina tend to be really hard to get by at some points in the game.
I need mana.
So, you'll have to get as many of them as you can. And the same thing goes for the antidote and healing potions. Except that healing potions are really not that hard to get by. You'll generally find them in chests or dropped by enemies you defeat.
What else?
Number 5 is to get as many runes and gems as you can. Runes and gems are really important in Diablo 2, with the former being a game changer when they were introduced, as they allow you to upgrade various stats of your character, and the gems being important for special abilities and crafting recipes. Most of the time, you'll get some really low quality runes and gems, but they're just as important as the better ones, and here's why. You can use the Horadric Cube to combine low quality runes to get better ones, and the same thing goes for gems. Number 4 is to get plus skill gear when you find them. But before we get into that, I'd like to ask you guys to give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. It would also really help our channel grow so that we give you more content on the best games out there. Plus skill gear is gear that comes with additional specific skill points for your character. This is basically the only other way to upgrade your skills aside from traditional skill points. So if you stumble upon a piece of gear that boosts a specific skill that you're focusing on, make sure you grab it. Number 3 is to sell yellow gear to get large amounts of gold. Gold is the currency in Diablo 2. You'll need it to buy and repair items in the game. The best way to get gold is to sell rare yellow gear to merchants. Rare items are obviously not that easy to find, so you'll have to look out for them, as you never know when you'll hit the jackpot.
I hope to find other such treasures.
Number 2 is to store items in the Horadric Cube. If you ever start to significantly lose space in your inventory, the Horadric Cube may just be the answer to your problem. It uses 4 spaces in your inventory, but at the same time gives you 12 extra spaces when you open it. Finally, at number 1 is to take time to learn about confusing stuff in Diablo 2. I know there are many games where you want to do a speed run or just simply want to ignore anything that seems boring to you, but Diablo 2 is not one of those games. Diablo 2 is a game that has stayed relevant for more than 20 years now, and for good reason. The game just has so much content and stuff to do, and in addition, there are equal amounts of things that you'll need to learn. It's okay if you get confused about a thing or two. If you stumble upon an item you don't know what to do with, search for it online to make sure that if you leave it behind, you're not making a big mistake. That's it, guys. Those are the top 10 Diablo 2 tips and tricks that we've got for you. Did you find them interesting? Helpful?
Yes.
Let us know. And if you've got any Diablo 2 tips and tricks of your own, let us know in the comments. And again, guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for future videos like this one. Peace!